Peta is a well-known pro-vegan, pro-animal rights group that was founded in the 1980s. Since then, they have grown to one of the largest animal rights groups in the world, with over 1,100 employees and 4 locations across the globe. But in more recent years, they've grown more well-known for their controversies and shock campaigns, and doing exactly what they say they're fighting against. Today, we're going to explore the origins of Peta, what went wrong, and the future for one of the largest grift campaigns in the world. The origins of Peta are fairly humble. Founded by Ingrid Newkirk, Alex Pashenko, and their friend Kim Stallwood, the group mainly consisted of their friends from the local vegetarian society, with Ingrid calling it just 5 people in a basement. For the first year, they were relatively unknown. That was until 1981, until the Silver Spoon Monkey case came into public light. The Silver Spoon Monkey case was a large boost for Peta, with Pashenko getting a job at the Institute for Behavioral Research in Silver Spring, Maryland. Pashenko wanted to get first-hand experience working in an animal lab. The lab is credited for advancements in neuroplasty along with treatments in stroke victims. But what Pashenko found there was absolutely repulsive, having them been restrained and deferred, a process of cutting the nerves to cut off feelings to certain parts of the body. Pashenko decided to go in at night and document what he found and then bring it to authorities. This resulted in a raid on the lab and the arrest of Edward Taub, the head psychologist there, and he was charged with 6 counts of animal cruelty, although these were later dropped. This resulted in a 10-year battle over custody of the monkeys, with both sides saying that they were lying and diluting evidence. This case transformed Peta. By 1991, they claimed over 350,000 members and an annual budget of over $7 million. But this was just the top of the roller coaster into what we know them as today. The beginning of the downward spiral started in 1992, when both Kim and Alex left Peta due to it drifting too far from its base. Ingrid, on the other hand, stayed at Peta, becoming the only chairman of the entire board. Surprisingly, this is when their extreme animal rights activism started and more near terroristic attacks started happening. For example, on February 28th, 1992, 2 Peta members entered 2 research areas at Michigan State University, setting fire to one and destroying almost $125,000 worth of research equipment and 32 years of research data into helping endangered species. Not exactly what animal rights organizations do. This was the same year that the Rather Go Naked Than Wear Fur campaign started to gain traction. It began at the Tokyo Fur Fair in 1992. Peta claims this to be the decline of the fur industry, but if you look at the graphs, it shows that the decline started at the financial collapse of 1987, and they're rebounding harder than I did at that bender last night, being worth over $40 billion currently. Peta stopped this campaign in 2020 due to its success. This wasn't the only time Peta went just a little bit overboard, though. In 2003, they started the Holocaust on Your Plate exhibition, which depicted Jews in the Holocaust next to animals being transported for slaughter. This sparked major outrage and was even outright banned in Germany. But would Peta slow down after this? Oh hell no. In 2005, they started their Are the Animals the New Slaves campaign, depicting slaves, Native Americans, and child laborers being compared to animals being sold and used in entertainment. Not the best look. This obviously sparked major outrage from multiple organizations, including the NAACP, which called it one of the worst campaigns they've ever seen. It was also docked for its blatant racism, but was continued all the way up to 2015. Peta also used the killings of Jeffrey Dahmer, Robert William, and the murder of Timothy McLean to start the It's Still Going On campaign, which compared all these murders to eating meat. Obviously, this was in bad taste, and they started it 1 month after each murder with no regards to the victims' families. But Peta doesn't stop there. Oh no, they went after the children. In 2003, they started a comic strip called Your Mommy Kills Animals, which was later depicted into a movie in 2007. Then, to reduce milk consumption among children, keep in mind children, they started the Got Beer campaign, a parody on the Got Milk. This obviously sparked outrage with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, as they were putting these ads in school newspapers and around school buildings. They were specifically targeted for children to encourage underage drinking. Not the best look. Then they went even farther. When then Mayor Rudy Giuliani got prostate cancer, they depicted him with an image of a milk mustache, saying got prostate cancer, saying that milk is the reason for his prostate cancer. What the fuck? Obviously, this did not turn out well for them, with Peta actually issuing an apology for this campaign. One of the only times they've ever done this. Even more recently, in 2017, Peta started an online hate campaign against Dr. Christine Lattin, an animal activist herself, but due to her research into the stress of birds in urban areas, she was sent multiple death threats a day and even people showing up at her place of work to harass her. But this has to be it, right? right? Since 1998, PETA has killed over 65% of the animals entering their shelters. This peaked in 2010 with over 97% of the animals being euthanized. But this isn't just stray dogs and cats. These are family pets. Like this dog, Maya, that was stolen from her front porch by two members of PETA. They were later charged due to Maya being euthanized the same day, with the Virginia law stating you have to have a 5-day wait period. And PETA is still at it, saying that the high kill rate is mercy killings. The dogs and cats are better off dead than with a human. Not really what animal rights do. But if you look at the highest kill rate shelters in all of the US, it's only 19%, which means either PETA only gets in dying animals or they just are lying. I'm going to take the latter. PETA also has a no adoption hours, no adoption schedule, and no way to call in to adopt an animal from their shelters, although they are still labeled in Virginia as a humane society. This is happening at the same time PETA is calling for animals to live and shaming anyone into eating that little red fleshy stuff. But this has to be it, right? They have to do some good in the world, right? PETA's annual income is astounding, with over $50 million in annual income, and 4% of that only going into donations and NGOs, and over half of that going into employee salaries, and 22% going into media coverage and shot campaigns. Also, as of 2015, PETA is able to file with no income tax due to it being a non-profit organization, meaning essentially they get every cent of the donation money and are able to use it however they please, with no repercussions. The IRS is thinking that they're doing good, but in reality, they're just lining their pockets just a little bit more. This isn't new though. In 2015, PETA labeled 75% of their $64 million budget that year in functional expenses. So what does PETA's future look like? Honestly, pretty good. They had their highest donation budget last year and are now in collaborations with the EPA. Still cranking out shot campaigns, but mainly on Twitter. Just made to shame anyone that does remotely anything eating animals, collecting animal skins, being a taxidermist. That's honestly just weird either way, but I'm going to give y'all a little slack there. So how can you actually make a difference? Donate to your local humane society. Donate to other organizations. There's $600 million. Cruelty Free International. There are many great organizations out there that actually make a difference. If you want to become vegetarian, do it. If you want to become vegan, do it. There's nothing against that. Just be sure to know where your money is going, and be sure to not know that it's just being used to line people's pockets. I'm Conittle. I'll see you next time.